Welcome to JMC vLearning. Today we are going to check about contract law. Now contract law is usually based on the agreements between two or more parties. This contract law was mainly developed by the British, right, because of the existence of trade that occurred between them, right. Now it might have developed over time, but still we are looking into case laws, especially case laws that were developed by judges. Apart from that, we have certain statutes that help us to determine how to make contracts and all, but mainly we will be focusing on the general aspect of the contract law, okay, mainly of what is a contract, how to form a contract, what are the legal elements required to make a contract, then apart from that how to terminate a contract, right, so and so, right. Now first of all, as always, it is best to always check what is a contract or what amounts to a contract. A contract is an agreement between two or more persons with the intention to be legally bound. Now, this is a general definition and this definition is accepted anywhere. But what you have to understand here is, this is an agreement. That's the first thing. A contract is an agreement. Between whom? Between two or more persons. So a contract can occur either with two people or more than two people. But can a contract ever occur between one person? Never. There should at least be two people or more. With the intention to be, now this intention is very important. Without the intention to be bound, right, intention to be legally bound, there will never be a contract, right. You need to have the intention when you are going into a contract. Now if you are going to get into a school or any other university, you have the intention to go there, you have the intention to do it, you have the intention to follow the academics. Similarly, when you are having a contract with any person, you need to have the intention to be legally bound. That means to accept the legal responsibilities and also to respect the rights of the other party. Right. Now we make contracts every day, right. Now whether you know it or not, we always make contracts. For example, think like this: going into the shop, you will be buying groceries and will be going home. That's a contract. You have already made a contract with the seller. While going in the bus, right, you take a receipt. Now that's a contract, right? The contract between you and the I would say the bus, technically the bus. How does it happen? You pay a certain sum of money, okay, in exchange for a service. The contract is that you pay and they will give you the service, or rather the transport service, right. So it's more of a contract whether we know or not. Now today, after today, you can always apply yourselves and see how we are going to, how the contract will actually occur. Now how to form a contract, right. Now we just checked what is a contract in general terms. Now let us see how can we form a contract. And this is very easy, that is, you can either form a contract verbally, that means by oral, using your words, right. We can just meet up and say, look, I would like to sell you this phone for this much amount of money, would you like to buy it? And if you say yes, now we have a contract to be legally bound. That's a verbal agreement. Or in writing, right, we can make in writing. I will write it in the paper or you can type it, okay. In writing includes typing also nowadays, okay, whether it's a printout or whatever. Right, and you also can put the signatures. Now in writing we have already agreed. Next is by implication. Now this is separate to verbally or in writing. That means some contracts are formed by the conduct of the parties. Simply because we were trading for a long time and by our conduct, by our implication, there can be a contract made. That means nobody agreed verbally, nobody agreed in writing also. But still, by the way we behaved, it shows that there has been a contract that has been occurred. Okay, right. Now I'll take this example for that bus example. Now you don't while getting into the bus, you don't really have a contract with the conductor or the bus driver. You don't say, look here, I'm going to have a contract with you. You have to drop me off here and I'll pay you only this much amount of money. No, the fact that you are getting into the bus and the fact that the bus is going on that direction is an implication. Okay, you get into one sort of bus and the conductor believes you are going to get down somewhere between that route. That's the implication. You don't go and specifically, speak with him and make a contract or in writing. It's just by implication you develop that contract. Now there are certain laws that states, look, if you are making a contract, it should definitely be in writing. Okay. For example, the Partnership Act, okay, the Partnership Law, the Prevention of Frauds Ordinance. Now these are special types of laws that states, look, you can have an agreement, but it should be in writing, definitely should be in writing. Now let's take lands. If you are transferring a land from you to someone else, you need to go for a notary, according to notary's ordinance. You'll have to go near a notary and he'll have to make a deed. Now that deed is in writing. We cannot have a deed actually orally or verbally. We need to have the deed in writing. Okay. So certain laws will definitely tell, look, you need to have your agreement in writing. Without it, it is not valid, right? So remember, generally how can we form a contract? Verbally, in writing and by implication, but because of certain laws, it's only applicable to that set of agreements, not everything. It will tell, look, for this type of agreements, better to have it in writing, not better, it's a must to have in writing. Okay. Now we know what is a contract and how to form a contract. Okay. Now let us see, although we made a contract, now me and you, let's say we had a contract, but still is it valid? How do we know whether it's a valid agreement? Just because we had our agreement verbally, in writing or by implication, doesn't mean it's valid, right? So to check the validity of a contract, we need to go through the elements. That means these elements of a contract will determine the validity of the contract. It will tell whether the contract is valid or invalid. So that means if you want your contract to be a valid contract, you need to comply with all these elements. What are the elements? Offer, acceptance, consideration, the intention to create a legal relationship, the legal capacity of the parties, the legality of the object, the genuineness of the consent. Now all these elements, right, everything, all these 7 should be complied with. Even if one is missing, let's say offer is there, acceptance is there, consideration, everything is there. But if the last one is not there, will it be a contract? No. Will it be a valid contract? No. So all these 7 should definitely be there for a contract to be valid. If one of them is missing, what will happen? The contract will be considered as illegal or rather invalid, I would say. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to check each one, because this is very important. The validity of the contract depends on all these elements. So it is important that we check each element carefully, right? Now each element starting from offer, acceptance. Now this offer and acceptance and consideration, these 3 are the main 3 elements. Now that doesn't mean others are not important. These 3 are the main elements because we assume others are existing, or it can exist on their own, but we have to always make sure that they are complied with. But generally a contract is made if there is an offer and an acceptance, a contract is made. But still all the 7 elements are required to make a contract valid. So that is why we are going to check each one and see what is an offer, what is acceptance, how is it recognized, what is consideration, so and so. Okay, so we are going to check each element separately and identify with case laws, okay, what the courts have told about each element. Okay, so remember, although we are discussing them separately, all these 7 elements should be there in the contract. That means it doesn't have to be inside the contract to form the contract, but legally and validly these should be complied with. Okay, you need to follow these and comply with these elements for the contract to be valid. Right. First of all, let's check on offer. Now offer is very simple. All you have to understand in offer is it's an expression of one's intention. So you have your intention to make an offer. You want to come into a contract, but not now, in the future. So you make known your offer. It's a definite promise. Now this is the legal definition. It's a definite promise to be bound on specific terms. Okay, it's a definite promise to be bound on specific terms. In normal language, I would say it's like this. Now imagine, imagine this is a pen Now I would like to sell this pen for, let's say, 10 rupees. Okay, now I am making an offer actually, right? I am showing my intention that I want to have a contract with you. I am going to start the negotiations now. I want to have a contract with you. So I am offering this pen. Look, this pen is 10 rupees. I want you to buy this for 10 rupees. Will you buy it? Now I am making an offer, right? Now understand that everything is not an offer. We will be checking, but there are certain situations where we have recognized now that those things are not offers. But generally speaking, yes, if it is an intention, okay, it's an expression of one's intention to form a contract with another person, it's an offer. So it's technically a definite promise. So I'm saying, look, I'm going to sell this pen for 10 rupees. It's a promise, definite promise that I will sell it for 10 rupees to be bound on specific terms. What is the specific term? That I'll be selling this for 10 rupees by the end of this week, right? It's a definite promise to be intentionally bound to another person. Okay. So offer is, once again, what is it? It's an expression. Okay, expression of an intention to form a contract with another person. We have not yet formed the contract, but I am giving the first step. Look, I would like to sell this pen for 10 rupees. Would you buy it? Now I am making you an offer. The one who makes the offer is called the offerer. Now when I made the offer to you, who am I called? I am called the offerer. Then what can we call you? The one who is receiving the offer, offeree. Now remember these two terms, because in case laws and all throughout we will be using these two terms. So once again, who is the offerer? I am the offerer, because I made the offer to you. I would like to sell this pen for 10 rupees. Will you buy it? I made the offer, so I am the offerer. You received the offer. I made it to you. Then you become the offeree. Now as that is clear, let's move on to discuss how to make a valid offer. Right? Now for a contract to be valid, we understand the elements are necessary. One of the elements is what? Offer. So when we are making the offer, it should be definitely valid. No? If the offer is not valid, then and there the whole contract will be invalid anyway. Right? So because it's a crucial element. So we need to make sure that the offer is valid. For an offer to be valid, there are certain things that should be fulfilled. The offer should be made with an intention to be bound by it. So everywhere you will find this word intention, right? Because without an intention you can't do anything. If I don't have the intention to be bound by what I am saying, then it's not an offer. Now let's take this case also. In Gibson versus Manchester City Council, it was held that the Manchester City Council only expressed the intention, or in other words the expectation to sell the building. Only they informed the expectation to sell the building, and that they had not in fact made an offer. Now remember, opinions, opinions and expectations, they are not offers. Now I have expected, think like this, I have an expectation to sell this pen. I am saying, look, I am looking to sell this pen, and you said, okay, I will accept to buy it. Did I make offer? No, I didn't make offer. I just told you my intention, that I have an intention to sell this pen, but not right now, maybe in the future. I just have expectation of selling this. I didn't make you an offer yet. So in here, this person called Gibson accepted the so-called expression to sell it. He didn't actually accept the offer. He just accepted what? The expectation to sell the building. Right? So that's why in this case, the court held that Mr. Gibson did not actually accept an offer. He just accepted an expression. The expression of the intention of the person to sell this building in the future. Right? If you accept offer, yes, then it's legally binding. Right? So that's why it says the offer should be made with the intention to be bound. Right? So if I am not telling this, look, I want to sell this pen, if I am not telling it with an intention, then there is no offer. Okay? So intention should be integrated to the offer that I make. If I don't have an intention, then it's not a valid offer. I can even make a joke. In a joke, I don't really intend to sell. Let's say I'm telling, look, I'm willing to sell this car. Will you buy it? I might have told it as a joke, right? So if I didn't have real intention behind that, then it's not a valid offer. Okay, but you have to be very careful when you make such offers, but you can understand still. If it's a joke, you kind of get it, right? We have a way of communicating as humans. So when it comes to offer, remember the intention should always be infused with it. Okay. Secondly, the offer should be definite and firm. Now when you make an offer, you can't be vague, you have to be straight and clear. Now for example, I am willing to sell this pen for 10 or 15 rupees. Now what is the correct amount? What am I really offering you? Is it for 10 rupees or is it for 15 rupees? It's not clear, no? It's vague. So but if I tell like this, I want to sell this pen and I am willing to sell this pen, right? For you, I am offering to sell this pen for 10 rupees. Now that's very clear. It's definite and firm. But if I say like this, I am willing to sell this pen for 10 or 15 or 20 rupees. So what is it? Is it 10? Is it 15? Is it 20? We don't know. So it's vague. Then it is not an offer. So an offer always should be, it cannot be vague. Offer should always be definite and firm. Okay, definite and firm. Right. In Guthing versus Lin, an offer was made to buy a horse while promising to pay an additional amount of 30 pounds. What happened in this case was, the person promised, look, I will buy this horse, and if this horse is lucky, I will pay you additional 30 pounds. Pounds is the currency in UK. Okay, so these are UK cases, right? So he said, look, I will buy this horse, but if the horse is, lucky for me, I will pay you extra 30 pounds. Now the seller claimed this. Seller was, after selling, seller was like, look here, you have to give me the extra 30 pounds you promised. But the buyer told that, look, this horse is not up to my standards. Right? The expectations that I had, the horse couldn't fulfill those expectations. So I will not pay it. The court said, look, there is no offer. Because why? The offer in the first place itself was vague. Right? The offer should be definite and firm, but it was not definite and firm. Why? He said, look, I will pay you this much amount of money, and if it was lucky, I will pay you extra 30 pounds. Now that if it was lucky, that part is vague. We can't actually measure that. Okay, so the court said, look, it's not an offer because it was vague and it was not definite or firm. Right. So now remember, now these, when we are talking about these offer, all these things should be there for the offer to be valid. The first one also should be there, the intention to be bound. Secondly, the offer should be definite and firm. And thirdly, an offer becomes valid only after it is communicated to the offeree and before he accepts it. Okay. Right. That means like this, I have to communicate my offer. If I am making an offer, I can't just stay silent, or in my mind I can't just tell from my mind to you. I have to communicate it, either verbally, either orally, in writing, or by implication. Somehow I have to communicate my offer to you. Now remember this, before I communicate, now let's say you know that I am going to tell this to you. Let's say I am going to sell my car. I have told my friend, look, I am willing to offer my car to you. Okay, I have told my friend. Now somehow you got to know it from my friend, but not from me. Now have I yet made the offer? No, I have not yet made the offer to you. Before I made the offer, you send your acceptance. Can it happen? Can't. Why? I have not yet communicated the offer to you. I should communicate the offer to you because I am the offerer and you are the offeree. After I made the offer, yes, then you can accept, but not before. Right? Otherwise, how do you know there's offer without me really communicating it? Right? Just because somebody else says, I will not be bound by that. I should have the intention to be bound, and my offer should be definite and firm, but finally it should be officially communicated. So I should communicate it to you. Right? And you can accept only after that. Right. Now let's check this case, Bloom versus American Swiss Watch Company. Now what happened here is, this company was robbed, okay, by some thieves. Then this person called Bloom, he was an eyewitness, he saw what happened. This company has put up a reward for information about the thieves. If somebody knew about the thieves, they put a reward, some sort of money, if you tell us the information. Now Mr. Bloom did not know about the reward, he had no idea. That means although they had communicated the offer, the company has communicated the offer to the public. If you know about the thieves, please let us know, we will give you some sort of reward. Now Mr. Bloom had no idea about this, maybe he didn't see the advertisement. What happened is, he went and gave the information to the police. After giving the information to the police, he got to know about the reward. Now he went and asked the Swiss company, look here, I gave information, now give me the money. But at that time, what has happened? He has actually given the information. Technically, when at the time of giving the information to the police, he had no idea about the reward. So he can't accept something before he knew about it. You can't technically do that, no? You can't accept something before you know about it. Yeah, you might have know about the information, you went and told the information, but later you can't tell, here you are giving a reward, now please give me the reward. I am the one who informed the police. But the idea here is, okay, technically, that if he had given the information in the expectation of the reward, at least he knows. At least he knows that it's gonna, he's going to get a reward. But in this situation, he had no idea. Okay, that means technically, at the time of giving the information, he was not aware about the reward. Therefore, the court said that he cannot accept, okay, an offer that he was not aware of. So that's what the third element in offer is about. Okay, an offer becomes valid only after it is communicated and before he accepts it. Okay, to the offeree and before he accepts it. So all three are relevant. Okay, for an offer to be valid, what are the three things? The offer should be made with the intention to be bound. The offer should be definite and firm. An offer becomes valid only after it is communicated and before he accepts it. How can you make an offer? We discussed this orally, in writing, and by implication. Okay. Right. An offer made to the following class of peoples. Right. Usually, there's always a question: to whom can the offer be made? Now, I can make an offer orally, in writing, or by impliedly or implication. But to whom? Right. First of all, to an individual. I can make an offer to an individual only. Now let's say I made an offer to you, then only you can accept it. Nobody else can accept it. Let's say it's a classroom, there are 10 students. I made an offer to one student. Then only that student can accept my offer, not the others. Why? Because I specifically made the offer to that particular student, not to the others. Okay, so remember, only the person who received the offer can actually accept it. Same example, classroom. To a group of people, I made an offer to this whole classroom. Students, I am selling my pen for 50 rupees. Are you all willing to buy it? Now I have made an offer to everyone. So the first person who accepts it, I am bound with that person now. Right? But in the previous one, what happens? I made it to a specific student only. Would you like to buy this pen for 50 rupees? I asked for a specific person. Can others accept it? Can't. Then only you can accept. The one who received the offer can only accept it. Okay. Right. But if I made it to a group of people, like the whole classroom, yes, then the people in the classroom can accept, not the ones at the outside. Okay. Ones in the classroom can accept it, and the first person who accepts it, I am bound with that person. Right. To the world at large. To the world at large means like the rewards that we give. Look, my dog is missing. If you give information about my dog, I'll give you a reward. Now that's a offer for the world at large. Okay. If anybody has information and if they give the accurate information, you are bound to give the reward to that person. Okay. Now there's a famous case relating to the world at large. Okay. In Carlyle versus Carbolic Smoke Bowl Company. Now it's relevant to this. During the time of influence and all, I can't remember the exact, if I'm right, it's around 1892, yeah. What happened is, now it's similar to what we had in COVID, like there were so many, drinks and everything during COVID, can you remember, right? If you drink this, you will not get COVID, even if you have got COVID, you will be cured and all, like so many, we call them these Ayurvedic doctors and so, I don't want to name names, but idea is like similar to that, okay? This company said, look here, now it's a kind of a medical firm, okay? They said, look here, if you have got influenza or if you actually take our smoke bowl, okay, there was like a black ball. If you take our medicine, take our drug, you will not get influenza. Actually, you will not get the flu. Or rather, if you have it, you will be cured. Okay, that's what they advertised. And actually, they put it in the newspaper also. To show how serious they are, they put up a reward. Look, if anybody after taking our drug, according to the way we have prescribed, if you have taken the drug and still if you get the flu or if the flu did not go out of your body after the recommended drug, we will pay you some sort of reward. Right? They would have paid, I think, around £100. Here and the case law differs because it's all case law. but the argument is, yeah, technically they said £100. Now that's the reward, and to show how sincere they are, they have actually deposited that in the bank also, and they advertise the bank slip, the deposit slip. They have advertised that also to show that they are very true to that. What happened is, there was this lady called Khalil. She took the drug, right? Still she got the flu, and she went and put a case. Look here, I did everything according to what they have asked. I didn't, I was not cured. The court looked into this case, and the court said, yes, what they have made is an offer. They have showed their intention to be bound, and it was definite and firm. It was not vague. Specifically, they said, look, if you take this drug and if you are not cured, we will give you £100 reward. It was very specific, and it was communicated. How was it communicated? Through the newspapers to the world at large. So the court, now this company argued, look, this is advertisement, so and so. We'll discuss like advertisement, there's a difference. This is only an advertisement. But the court said, no, this is not advertisement, it's like a reward. So you are bound, not only to this Khalil, to any other persons also. So it's an offer made to the world at large. The court said that this is an offer, what they have made is an offer. Okay, right. So what did we discuss on the offer? Mainly, the offer should be made with the intention to be bound, offer should be definite and firm. An offer becomes valid only after it is communicated to the offeree and before he accepts it, right? An offer can be made in 3 ways: orally, in writing, or by implication. It can be made to individuals, to a group of people, or to the world at large. Example, Khalil versus Carbolic Smoke Ball Company. Now, when we are going to discuss about offer, we must definitely discuss about the invitation to offer. Now think like this, I have put let's say an advertisement, or rather orally or in writing. I'm telling you, let's say orally, I'm telling you, look here, I am willing to sell my land. That's it. I didn't make you an offer sale. If I do like this, I'm willing to sell my land for 50 lakhs. Will you buy it? Now that's an offer. I'm willing to sell my land for 50 lakhs. Will you buy it? Now that is an offer. But if I tell like this, I have an intention and I am willing to sell my land. Are you willing to buy it? That's it. That's all I am saying. When I make such a, I would say, statement, it's not an offer. We call it an invitation to treat or invitation to offer. Invitation to treat or offer means the offerer, okay, now initially I am supposed to be the offerer, no? Then at this point I am not the offerer, I am just a person, but I am inviting you to make me an offer. Previously what happened? I was the offerer. I made an offer directly to you. Here I am willing to sell this pen for 50 rupees, will you buy it? That's an offer. But if I tell like this, I am willing to sell this pen. That's it. Then you will make me an offer, no? Okay, then will you give it to me for 10 rupees? Another person might tell, will you give it to me for 20 rupees? Okay, I am willing to sell my land. Somebody will call me and ask, are you going to sell your land? I'm willing to give you 50 lakhs. Somebody else will call me and tell, I'm willing to give you 60 lakhs. Another one 90 lakhs. Now can you see? Now you all are the ones who are making the offer to me. What did I do? I just invited you all to make me an offer. I'm inviting you here. Look, make me offer. The best offer that I think is good for me, I will accept it. So what happens in invitation to treat is, right, I am inviting you all to treat or inviting you all to make me an offer. Right? You all will make the offer to me and I will be the one who is accepting. So in invitation to treat, you all become the offerer and I become the offeree. Right? And at the end of the day, I am the one who is accepting. Right? You all are the one who are making the offer to me. Okay? Right. Now think like this example. I invite you to make me an offer on my house. You offer 50 million as an offer. Now I can decide whether to accept the offer or not. Okay? So when I invite you to make an offer, you will make me an offer. That doesn't mean I am bound to accept it. But if I make an offer and you accept it, definitely yes, I am bound. And you make an offer and I accept it, then also I am bound. But if I make you an invitation to offer, I am just telling you to give me an offer. Then just because you say 60 lakhs, I am not bound by that. I can decide. So it's like a back step before, like to start negotiations. I'm telling you, look, you tell me a price. and you will be like, okay sir, I will give you 50 lakhs. Now I can decide whether to accept your offer or not. If I want, I can reject it. Okay. Now if I make you an offer, you can reject it, no, if you don't like it. Similarly, if you make the offer, after I invite you to make the offer, if I am okay with it, I can accept. Once I accept though, we are bound. Once I accept, we are bound. Okay. So remember, this invitation to trade or invitation to offer, okay, is a way of starting the negotiations. Okay. There's no offer actually, but we are inviting to others to make the offer. Right. Now these are for convenience. We have recognized invitations to offers. That means so far by legally we have identified these things are categorized under invitations to offer for convenience purposes. Display of goods in a shop window with a price marked on them. Now when you go to any town or something, you will see these shops like clothes shops. In clothes shops you might see like a shop window. In that shop window you might see like these dummies wearing dresses, sometimes with a price mark, so and so. Now they are not offering them actually. They are not offering them. Why? They are inviting you to offer. Now it's a very strange scenario. How does it happen? What happens is, okay, let's take this case also. Okay, now in Fisher versus Bell, what happened is he had a shop. He was selling equipment and everything, and he had offered knives, right? Just normal knives to sell. There's a price, okay, one knife 100 rupees, okay, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, like that. Now let's say you are walking on the road. Now you see his knives, okay, 10 rupees, 50 rupees, whatever. You wanted a knife to cut bread. Now what actually happens is he is not offering you. You can't accept that knife. You are the one who is offering. Why? What he has done is, okay, he is inviting you to offer. How does it happen? Now when you put goods or display goods in a shop window, you have to go inside the shop. Okay, you have to take that knife. Okay, or let's take clothes. You have to go inside the shop, take the clothes that you like, go to the cashier, and then you offer. That means the clothing shop has not offered you clothes, they have invited you to offer the clothes. They are saying, look here, we have clothes, you check something and offer us. But that of course, remember, you can't, it's very difficult to change the price, negotiate the price, but still you are the one who is making the offer. You go into the shop, you take the clothes, you go to near the cashier, and then you offer to buy these clothes to that agreed price. That's a price mark. To that price mark you go and agree to buy it. Okay, so you go and tell, look, I want to buy this for this price. So you are the one who is offering, and then the shop will decide whether to accept it or not. Okay, that's what happens actually in this display of goods. Okay, display of goods in supermarkets. When you go to a supermarket, there are so many supermarkets in Sri Lanka, so they are inviting you to offer. You take that trolley, okay, you put all the goods in, all the biscuits and all the chocolates and everything. So you go near the cashier and then you offer to the cashier, look here, I am willing to buy this. You are offering it to the cashier, and the cashier will decide whether to accept it or not. Okay, that's why if you can't pay, they will not accept it. That if otherwise they are bound already. If it was an offer and you have accepted it, it's already bound. There's a contract being bound. But right now, what really happens is they are inviting you to offer. So you take all the goods, you go near the cashier, you offer it to them, and they will accept it. Okay, right. So display of goods in a supermarket. Advertisements for the sale of goods. Right. Advertisements nowadays are considered as completely as invitations to offer, because in each and every advertisement you will find somewhere conditions apply, and so and even newspaper advertisements you will find conditions apply. So advertisements for the sale of goods are considered as invitations to offer. They are simply inviting you to offer. You are the one who is going and offering, and they will accept. Auctions. What happens in auctions is that we'll take these are some case laws. Okay. All these case laws tell is like at which point is offering happens. Auctions actually is an invitation to trade. Let's say I am having auction today. Okay, so there are many valuable items. Let's say this is a valuable item, so I am putting this up for auction. Now you all are my auctioneers. You all have come to the auction. So I am putting this price. Okay, the bidding start price is, let's say, 1000 rupees. I am inviting you to make offers. So each one of you will stand up or put your pedal up and say, just put your pedal up, and then that means you are indicating you are going to buy it. You are offering 1,000, another one will be offering 2,000, another one 3,000. So you all are ones who are actually offering. In auction, I am just inviting you to make offers. Everyone will be offering here and there, and the last person, like if there is no other offer, with the fall of the hammer will fall 3 times. No, 1, 2 and 3. Once the hammer falls the 3rd time, the auctioneer or the auction has accepted your offer. Okay, that's how acceptance in auction happens. It's kind of different. The hammer should fall 3 times. It's like tradition now. Okay, so if the hammer falls 3 times, before the hammer falls the 3rd time, if somebody makes another offer, then again until somebody else makes another offer, I'm going to accept it. 1, 2, and if somebody makes another offer, then that offer is gone. Then the new offer stands in place. Then again 1, 2, 3. If nobody makes another offer, I would have accepted that new offer. Okay. So in auctions, if I'm the one who is organizing the auction, I'm inviting you all to offer, and you all will come and offer, and I will accept it. Okay. By the fall of the hammer 3 times. Right. That was held in Payne versus Cave as well. Okay. Right. Okay. Now so far we have discussed the basic ideas of an offer. Okay, we discussed on the offer, what it needs to be valid. It should be made with intention to be bound, should be definite and firm, becomes only valid after it is communicated and before the offeree accepts it. How it can be made, to whom it can be made, right? And we discussed certain case laws. Then we discussed about the invitation to offer, and we discussed why the recognized invitation to offers are currently, and now we are going to see how to terminate an offer. Now if I make an offer, I should have the right to terminate it, to cancel it. Now how to do it? The first one is by lapse of time, second by revocation, then third by rejection, and by frustration. These are the 4 recognized methods. Right. Let's check by lapse of time. Now what happens in by lapse of time is, I make an offer. Think like this: I am willing to sell this pen for 50 rupees, but my offer will only stay for 2 weeks. Let's take 2 days. Okay, only for 2 days. After the 2nd day, let's say on the 3rd day, you come and you accept my offer. So we are willing to buy the pen for 50 rupees. Now am I bound? No. Why? My offer, I told specifically that my offer will only stay for 2 days. Automatically after the 2nd day, my offer has expired. So it's expiration date. I can set expiration date for an offer. After that expiration date, nobody can accept it, or at least the person who I have offered it cannot accept it. Okay. So remember that. So the offer can be made with a specified time for which it is to be open. If that time period is expired, then the offer no longer stands. You have no offer to accept that. So, but if you accept it during that time period, then yes, then we are bound. Okay, then if the offer is valid and I gave a time period and you accepted before the expiration of the time period, then yes, then we are bound to have a contract. But if you accept it after the expiration period, what will happen? I am no longer bound to accept it. Okay, I can decide whether to accept it or not, but my offer has expired technically. Offer has expired. So you can't actually accept, there is no offer to accept. You will have to come and ask from me again, or you will have to make me another offer. Okay, so my offer has expired. In Ramsgate Victoria Hotel Co Limited versus Montefiore, what happened in here is, this person offered to buy shares in June, somewhere in June, right? And he made a deposit also. But this company, they didn't inform him anything. Then suddenly in November they call him and tell, look here, you have to pay the balance of the shares, the balance payment for the shares. Now he said, no, look, I am not going to pay. I offered you, but a reasonable time has expired. So this case held that if there is no specific time period, now in my previous example I gave you 2 days to accept the offer. Sometimes we don't give a date like that, we just offer. But let's say you accept my offer after like 10 years, after like 1 year, a reasonable time has passed, then of course it is not valid, then automatically it is expired. So technically the law argues, okay, after a reasonable time period, the offer will be naturally expired. So this case also, he offered in June They have tried to accept in November. The court said, look, especially in types of businesses or company related law, it's not a reasonable time period. The reasonable time period has passed. If it was in July, maybe yes. Now it's July, August, June, July, August, September, October, November, until more than close to 6 months. So reasonable time period has passed. So therefore, they can't accept the offer made by this person. Okay, right? That's called lapse of time. Okay, that's called expiration. Okay, lapse of time means expiration of time. Okay. By revocation. Right. Now revocation means when I made the offer to you, before you accept it, I can take it back. Simple as that. I make an offer to you. Look here, I am going to sell this pen. Even if I put a date, doesn't matter. I am going to sell this pen for you for 50 rupees. My offer will stand for 5 days. But on the second day, I take back my offer. I revoke it. No problem. I have the right to do it. But before you accept it, if you have already accepted, then I can't revoke, because then the agreement has been made. But before you made your acceptance, I can definitely revoke it. In Rutledge versus Grant, right? Here what happened is the seller offered to sell his house to the buyer and promised to keep it open for 6 weeks. Now he promised, look, I will keep the offer for 6 weeks. But what happened? The seller withdrew the offer after 2 weeks. The court held that the offerer could revoke his offer at any time, even before the specified time period. Now this Dickinson versus Rod, in this case it was stated that, look here, if you are going to revoke the offer, make sure that you communicate it to the offeree. Now if I have given you an offer, I can revoke it at any time. Even if I have given you a time period that, look here, this is the time period to accept the offer, even before that time period ends, I can revoke it. But Dickinson versus Rod says, if I am revoking, I should communicate it to you. I can't just revoke and say, look, yeah, I have already revoked it. No, I have to communicate it to you. Maybe orally or either in writing. Somehow I should make sure that you receive the news that I have revoked the offer. Okay. If you don't know about my revocation and you accept it, I am bound. Let's say I have revoked, I have told somebody else, but I have not informed you, officially at least. And you have no way of getting the information, and you accept it. Now I am bound. Even if I have revoked, you will be bound. You and me will be bound, because why? The revocation of the offer was not communicated. By rejection. Now rejection can happen in 2 ways. Express rejection. Express rejection means I make you an offer. I am willing to sell this pen for 50 rupees. Will you buy it? You are like, no, we don't want it. Expressly rejected. Either in writing or orally, you have expressly rejected. Or you can make a counter offer. Counter offer means I am telling, look, I am willing to sell this pen for 50 rupees. Now you are telling me, no, that's too much. I will buy it for 30 rupees. So when I make an offer, you reject my offer. At the same time, you reject my offer and you make offer on your own. You give me a separate offer. When you make that separate offer, my initial offer is no longer there. Even if we go back to the same amount, I am saying, no, look, 50 rupees is the value. Even if I am again offering 50, that's a new offer. Even if the same value is there, it's a new offer. Okay, that means an offer, once it's rejected, it's gone. You can never take it back. Okay. So technically in a counter offer what happens is, I make the offer, you make another offer to me. When you make that new offer, my initial offer is rejected. It's no longer there. And I also can make a counter offer. Like that we can go back and forth. Somehow when you make a counter offer, the previous offer is no longer there. That's what you should remember. Now see this case in Hyde versus Wrench. Now this case is a good example for counter offer. A offered to sell his property to B for £1,000. Okay, it's between Hyde and Wrench. Now we are just using figures to make it easy. A offered to sell his property to B for £1,000. Then what did B say? He was like, no, look, I will buy it for £950. 1,000 is too much, I will buy it for 950. Then A said, no, I don't want to sell it for that amount. After a while, B again said, look here, I will accept your £1,000. You can give it to me for £1,000. I will buy it. A said, no, I am not going to give it to you for even for £1,000. Then B went and said, look here, A has breached the contract. The court said there is no contract, because when A said £1,000, you made a counter offer. Now you can't go back to that £1,000 again. That offer is no longer there. You can't hold offer. You make offer, A made offer for 1,000, B rejected by making another counter for £950. A rejected that also. Then again B is saying, look, I will buy it for that previous 1,000. There is no previous 1,000. That offer is no longer there. Okay. So then by rejection, okay, you can terminate an offer either expressly or by counter offer. Okay. Last one, by frustration. Now this is when an offer cannot be subsequently performed because something has happened beyond the control of the parties. Now for example, before accepting, okay, once you accept, it's a contract, but before accepting something happens that makes it impossible to perform the contract. For example, the government has intervened and make the good that we are going to exchange illegal. Maybe we were going to let's take a very absurd example. Let's take sugar. I'm going to sell you sugar. You're going to buy sugar. The government today decides to make sugar illegal. Now what will happen to our contract? We can't perform. Why? It has become illegal now. So therefore, it's beyond our control. So contract has or offer has ended by frustration, right? Or sometimes the incapacity of the offerer dies. Then there's no one to perform the contract or the offer. Okay, so by frustration also an offer can end. Right. So that's all about offer. Okay, so we discussed mainly about how offer can be valid, then how it can be made, to whom it can be made. Then we discussed about the invitation to offer. Then we discussed the recognized invitations to offer, and finally how it can be terminated. Right. Now let us check a little bit on the acceptance. Now when I make an offer, you are the one who is going to accept it. Okay, so we need to focus on acceptance as well. Now this part is very easy. Acceptance is unconditional consent. That of course you need to remember. That means when I make an offer, you should accept it without a condition. You cannot simply accept on your own terms. You cannot halfway accept it. When you accept, you need to accept it fully, altogether. Right? When I make an offer, you need to accept it fully, with all the conditions, with all the terms. You cannot put your own condition. Look, I will accept it if you do this. Then you are making a counter offer, not acceptance. Okay. So remember that acceptance is very easy. What does it say? When the offer is made, you need to accept it then and there, with all the conditions. Of course, yeah, acceptance you can accept after a while, but still, even if you are accepting after a while, you have to make sure that terms and conditions are still intact. Okay, whether those terms and conditions are there, and if it is there, you need to accept it with all that, all together. And it can be made in writing, verbally or by implication. Okay, you can make your acceptance by word of mouth, in writing, or by implication. That doesn't matter. But most of the time, it is always best to make the acceptance in the form the offerer has asked you to send the acceptance. Let's say I made you an offer and I tell you, here, look, if you are giving me your acceptance, please send it to me in writing. Then if you just send me, just come to me and tell orally, I would not accept. So you need to follow sometimes the offerer's means of accepting. Offerer has told you how to send you acceptance, then always best to follow in that method. The most important part is communication of the acceptance. Once the offer is made, if you have not communicated your acceptance, okay, if you have failed to communicate your acceptance, the contract will not be valid. If the acceptance is not communicated, there cannot be any contract. Okay, simple as that. Let's take this, will you? Now this is related to the communication of acceptance. Okay, Powell versus Lee. It's a famous case. What happened here is, now the plaintiff applied to be a principal in a school. Okay, now he went to the interview. The board of directors decided, look, yeah, we'll appoint him. Okay, I think it was they wanted to appoint the person. But now before that appointment was confirmed and before the board of directors sent an official letter to this person, one of the person's friend in the director board just called and told, here look, you are selected. So she left all her other jobs and everything and was getting ready for this one. But then the board of directors rescinded their resolution. That means they changed their decision. And now she went to court saying, look here, they have already accepted it and now they are not giving fulfilling their part of the contract. Right? In an interview, you are the one who is offering, the company will accept your your performance, you as a worker. So similarly in here also, this person went to the interview, offered the services as a principal. The board of directors initially accepted, but they did not communicate it to the person still. But one of the directors in the board, gave a call to her and said, look here, you are selected. Now that is not official communication. So the court said, look, even though acceptance is there, it should be communicated officially. Until it is done officially, the contract will not be valid. And also based on this principle, we have to, now in the modern day context, now those days we can say letters and all, but today we call it instant communication, like social media and everything. Now remember, simply because you send your acceptance, it's not relevant. Acceptance being transmitted is not acceptance. Acceptance should be received by the other person. If the other person made offer and you are sending the acceptance, he should receive the acceptance. The offerer should receive the acceptance. Simply because it went out of your phone doesn't mean it's acceptance. You send a WhatsApp message, that's it. He is not on WhatsApp. Like that, okay? So you have to make sure that he receives the acceptance. Simply by sending it is not enough. So when it comes to acceptance, we need to focus a little bit on the postal rule as well. What happens in the postal rule is, it says, look, when acceptance is by post, the moment you put the letter or post the letter, acceptance is accepted. Okay, that means acceptance is valid the moment you post the letter. Whether it was received by the offerer or not doesn't matter. Okay, now that's called a postal rule. It's only relevant to if you are sending your acceptance by letters. Okay, not to any other communication methods. If you are using a letter to send your acceptance, then definitely you need to follow the postal rule. It says the moment you post the letter, acceptance is communicated, whether it was received by the offerer or not. That's what happens in Adams as a Linsell. Here the offerer, he said, look here, my offer should be accepted within this time period. Then B, send a letter on 2nd September and require an answer on the post. On 5th September, B posted his letter. So technically on the 5th September, his acceptance was communicated. But it reached A only on the 9th September. Or although he sent the acceptance letter on the 5th of September, the letter was reached on the 9th September. Right? Now before that, A has already sold the goods to another party. But the court said no. According to the postal rule, the moment you post the letter of acceptance, it is communicated whether it was received by the offerer or not. Right? That is called the postal rule. Now how to overcome this? Now it will be very disadvantageous, no? Because you are waiting for an answer, you didn't get answer, you sell it, but then the next day the letter comes because it was delayed by a strike or something. The letter was lost in the mail and late it comes. So there's a valid acceptance. How to overcome it? You can specifically tell to the offeree, look, if you are sending your acceptance, you need to send the letter to me. I should receive the letter to my hand. Even if you put it to the post box or even if you posted it, that is not valid acceptance. I need to get it to my hand. If you tell that words expressly, that you need to receive your letter to your hand, okay, that means to your address, then only you will consider it as acceptance. Then you can overhaul the, we call it overrule the postal rule. You can go beyond the postal rule. Otherwise, if you don't tell it, what will happen is postal rule will automatically exist. So how to overcome the postal rule? You have to specifically state that you need to receive the letter to your hand, letter of acceptance to your hand.